Once I landed, I heard that Julia Roberts had read the script and she was interested into it. And that was for me a very big sparkle because I really love Julia very much, as we all do, I guess. And then I met her and I met an incredible woman.
My name is Diana Loderhose. I'm the International Features Editor here at Deadline. Next up, I'm really delighted to be here with Amazon MGM title After the Hunt. It's the latest feature from acclaimed director Luca Guadagnino. The film stars Julia Roberts, Ayo Edebiri, and Andrew Garfield. And it's a gripping psychological drama about a college professor who finds herself at a personal and professional crossroads when a star student levels an accusation against one of her colleagues, all while hiding a dark secret from her own past, which threatens to come to light during the film. Please welcome to the stage the film's director and producer, Luca Guadagnino. Writer Nora Garrett. Cinematographer Malik Hassan Say. And casting director Jessica Ronan. Luca, you are at a stage in your career where I'd imagine you have the pick of anything you want to work with, any kind of script, and I'm curious as to, why Nora's script? How did you stumble upon it? And what was it that compelled you to kind of go, this has to be my next project?
Good morning. I think this was great work from my agents, I would say. They sent me the script. I was kind of flying from my home in Italy to Los Angeles for a work where I met Malik, so that's more later. And they gave me the script. They say read it on the flight. So I read it on the flight, and it struck me the way in which Nora's could bring together a very particular story in a very specific place and make it in a way sort of the stage for idiosyncrasies and impulses that could speak to everybody from my perspective. So I love the setting, I love the characters, I love the dialogue. So that was my initial real strong pull toward it. Then once I landed, I heard that Julia Roberts had read the script and she was interested into it. And that was for me a very big sparkle because I really love Julia very much, as we all do, I guess. She's such an incredible actress, incredible star. And then I met her and I met an incredible woman. And so once we started talking, we both agreed on compelling each other, pushing each other to do something as, let's say, provocative in a good sense as this script.
Yeah. Nora, this is your first script, and it's unbelievable. Congratulations. Tell us a little bit, tell us a little bit first about the inspiration you had to write this, but equally, and kind of where you were at your life and what led you to write this story. And equally, kind of having your first script directed by Luca, starring this incredible cast, working with this incredible crew. What has that been like for you?
Difficult to put into words, mainly just because it all feels, I feel so lucky and so grateful. And it's really difficult to feel like you deserve any of this, so this embarrassment of riches, and everyone is so talented. And I think, Luca is so much the reason for everybody on the stage, but also everybody in the film, that it was just such a massive gift. And I was very broke when I was writing this, very broke, very sad. But the inspiration really came from the character of Alma. And I was really interested in someone who had such a powerful mechanism of self-denialism, and that mechanism is what supported their effort towards external success in a way that was powerful and propulsive, but hampered them in an emotional, integritous way, that at the exact moment of them sort of reaching the tipping point of that success, the very thing that was helping her reach it is the thing that hampered her. And then I was interested in setting that in sort of the cloistered, incestuous, slippery power dynamics of higher education.
I mean, it's interesting because these are themes you explore a lot in many of your films: desire, conflicts, internal and external. Maybe could you speak? And this is, as you say, a film about conflict and grief and desires. Why are you both driven to those themes? And maybe
I think in this movie, the desire or the agency of wanting the other is more about suppressing the other. And of course, there is at the center of this movie the hope of the completely generous love of Frederick for Alma that somehow give a hope. But because this was more about like setting yourself onto a sort of performance on the stage of life and trying to show yourself in a way that does hide who you are really inside. In a way, the dynamic of desire were dynamic of power. And it was interesting to me to explore that.
I agree completely, and I think that there's also something, I don't know, the dynamics of desire as located in power. I feel like, to me, what was so interesting about someone who is so nakedly ambitious, especially someone who's a woman and so obviously ambitious, is that kind of grasping for something that is ultimately ephemeral. This feeling of like the desire to shore up your identity with this kind of external validation that is so prevalent in society, and especially in our capitalistic society, and the idea that the closer you move towards it, the further it moves away from you. It's a mirage, and the things you're left with that are real are the love that Frederick has for Alma, or the narratives that you tell yourself about yourself, and those relationships.
Malik, hello.
Hello.
You have had such an interesting career. You were in the film game, working a lot as a DOP with Spike Lee, and then you've pivoted to more music videos,
Commercials and music
commercials,
short form stuff.
What was it about this project that brought you back into the film space? What did you do, Luca, to persuade him to come back? And how did you come to this project?
Well, I met Luca, and he mentioned the story, and the story was intriguing to me. And for me, it wasn't that I was specifically not trying to do feature. I just wanted to do the right one, and this one sounded like the right one, and it was the right time, and it's timely and relevant and important. And I just wanted to do something. If I'm commit to something like this, I want to do something important. And to me, this was incredibly important and timely. Yeah.
What about? I mean, it's visually, it's so beautiful. The tone and the palette and the look of the film. How can you maybe tell us a little bit more about the technical elements of it? The two of you maybe could tell us how you kind of the lenses you used and how you came to the palette, the inspirations, and all of that.
Well, it starts with Luca. He's very precise and masterful at his craft, and I think it was amazing pairing for us. And there was a lot of restraint, which I liked. We used a single lens. We wanted the film to look like it was shot in the '80s. We used equipment only from that time in technology, and we had two references. And I think that precision allowed us to nuance, allowed a lot of nuance inside of that space, which makes it very poignant. So yeah, it was very exciting to work with Luca on this project. Yeah.
Do you want to add anything?
Well, I saw Clockers in 1996, and I said to myself, I must work with this incredible director of photography. So it took a little bit of a time. I did it. I feel I accomplished.
Yes.
Thank goodness you did.
Yeah.
Jessica, tell me, what a cast. What are you looking for? I mean, Luca mentioned Julia was kind of aboard when he came to the project, but what are you looking for? What were you looking for each of these characters? It's cast so brilliantly. What were you looking for each of these characters when you were kind of going through the casting process?
Well, I think working with Luca, it's the term precision is really correct because Luca loves actors and knows actors and their work really well with a lot of detail. And I think that getting into his mindset and trying to understand, trying to kind of click into what he's hoping to achieve with this cast, how they could work together, what are the right tones, what is the world that he's creating along with Nora and the rest of the crew. And I think that's a kind of journey at the start. And then it kind of makes perfect sense as each ingredient and each piece of the jigsaw, merge. And then I suppose the world of Yale is, just kind of the detail of that world and the young people and who would they be? Who are those kids? What and where have they come from? And then I think as a casting director, you get to kind of collect actors that you are excited by. And I remember meeting Thadia, who plays Katie, years ago, and admiring her so much for a myriad of reasons. And then when you start to find you can introduce those ideas, they're less known people, and you can create the beginnings of a relationship with an outstanding team. That's just a great responsibility and a great thrill. So yeah, finding those actors, helping to try and get, just assemble them correctly was the workload, and it was really, really thrilling.
Jessica is tireless in making sure that you balance your cast in a way that is so wide and deep, and the way she can find people, it's astonishing to me. And Will Price and Tadia Graham, who plays the two students, they are now playing in my new movie, and I would have not done that if I had not met them through Jessica.
And I love that for actors, when you introduce them to a director who appreciates their uniqueness, and that's sometimes the beginning of what can be a lifelong relationship. And then the search as well is really special for me. So looking for Leo Neal, who plays Alex, was great kind of privilege, and getting to know Leo was really special. And along the way, we met a lot of other fantastic actors who actually, I know I will save and hang on to for the next opportunity. And I think that with any process and working repeatedly with any director, you just get better at trying to deliver. It makes you better at your job, actually.
I wish we had more time, but I'm afraid we're out of time. Thank you so much,
Thank
everybody.
You. Thank
Congratulations.
you so much.